Hello, guys. Uh, as I said before, I like to keep my promise. So this is my first video on exposing the truth, and like like I said before, I was skeptical about uh, coming out with uh, coming out and saying most of these things, not because of fear, but mainly because most of you won't have the mind to understand most of what I will be saying. But uh, that's not the case. Even if I can reach just one person, one or two person, then I can assure myself that I did it for a cause because I spent like a whole year. It's been over a year. I did nonstop research and I fell down a deep rabbit hole and I found some dangerous information. And today I would like to talk about uh, the. We'll begin with the economic collapse that's going to happen in 2017 because of the debt ceiling that's been accumulating. And right now, the central bankers, you can call them the elite central bankers, they're the one that's behind the scene that's pulling all the strings. So right now they have the perfect scapegoat to blame this economic collapse on, which is Trump. So the universe. Well, before I get into any further, let's just say that the universe is alive. The universe is pretty much the universe is God, is the main God, and then everything else, which is other beings, falls uh, down the ladder, which they also are gods. But I will be talking about that in another video. And the earth itself is also alive, and it goes by the name of Gaia, and it's going through a shift right now, and it's expanding. Everything in the world is energy and sound waves, and everything is controlled by thoughts. So a thought of a person is very powerful. It's what keep them uh, trapped in their own minds. So the universe is helping us out by putting Trump in office because he is good with dealing with bankruptcies. So America is really bankrupt right now. So that is why Trump was able to get into the White House, and with the help of a few alien friends, he was able to get nominated. I mean, if it was if it was left to the public, they would brought themselves into a World War III with Russia or North Korea or China. But one of the one of the alien group that helped was the tall whites, which at some cases they were able to take over Donald Trump's body. When he was speaking, it wasn't him that was speaking, but whenever they take over the person's body, they have to have the person have to give them permission to take over the body because the the human being has free will, so no other entities can can occupy the body without the consent of the human soul. So they were able to get into his body and say some of the things that you guys found defiling or racist or any of that, but that was their way of stating the truth to you guys. As you guys can see, most people cannot accept truth because the ego is in the way. uh, whenever the ego, I will be talking about the ego in a later video, but whenever the ego hears truth, it feels threatening, it feels insulted. That's the reason when most of people hear something that they don't want to hear, they feel insulted. But deep down, it's not them that feels insulted. It's just the ego, because the ego feels threatening. And without the ego, I will be explaining how without the ego, you cannot find happiness if you still have an ego. And so I'm doing this video because I would like to wake up a lot of you guys up, and so you can see through your third eye. Your third eye is Horus, and when you become awakened, you see through an eye of a god, so you can see different realities. Let's say this perfect example is, let's say you do shrooms or certain type of drugs, then you start to see the reality, how the reality changes from one perspective to the other. That is the same way as being awake, but in a sense you don't have to do the drugs. And being asleep is similar to, you guys know how a person sleepwalks. They're not in control of their body, but the mind and the brain is controlling the body, and the being is on autopilot. There's another layer deep down, which is the subconscious. And whenever the subconscious, you can call it the subconscious, the soul, or the higher self. It's all in the same. So whenever a person, right now, when most of the masses are asleep, meaning not in the sleep form where their eyes are closed, but they asleep in the sense where the subconscious is asleep, where the higher self is asleep. They pretty much just operating every day on autopilot, just waking up, going to work, come back, sleep, repeat, and they're not even aware of their surroundings, because they're pretty much asleep. And waking up, you'll start to notice a lot of things around you that you'll say, oh wow. And also, I wanted to talk about God, because there's a lot of misinformation about who and what God is. Like I said, the ultimate form of God is the universe, because the universe itself is energy, it's thoughts, it's sound waves. So most of people, when they pray, it's not that the prayer that gets them what they prayed for, it's the intent behind it. Because if you keep praying every day, you saying even if you say you want something, you never going to get it, because you only going to want it. Let's say if you say I want this. Let's say, perfect example. Let's say somebody who are praying to God. Let's say keep saying, God, I want this in my life. But the universe is not. The universe is the one that you're actually praying to. The universe is only there to give you what you ask and what you thinking about, which brings up law of attraction. I will be talking about that later in another video. And you're only gonna get what you're thinking and what you asking for. So if you say you want something, the job of the universe is, it's gonna give you the one thing sensation of having that thing. It's never going to give it to you because you say you want it. It's always gonna give you giving you the one thing of such. And if you stop saying it and start with every sentence with I am, which is the most powerful sentence you can start with, is say I am this, or I am going to get this. Then the universe has no option but to give it to you. You can even pray to whatever God you guys call, which is most people pray to a magical a magical guy in the sky with long beard, but that God does not exist. I will be talking about later in the video how God was created, but it's just another illusion. Uh, the alien race that has the world under control is that gives you guys the Bible. But there's a lot of truth in the Bible if you know how to read between the lines. But most of that stuff is a way to keep you guys trapped in your mind, so you don't question anything. So you conform to everything that you see or hear. So they give you guys a book to tell you how to live your life, but you guys never question anything. I mean, I used to believe all that too until I actually woke up. I'll do another video of how I actually got awoken. But like I was saying, the the ultimate God is the universe itself, and there's lower gods, which are other beings. The human race was created by other beings, which are really high multidimensional beings, and most of them are. There's some of them that's multi-dimensional. There's some that are just physical beings, but they have really high advanced technology. So I'll do another video on how the humans were created and who created the humans. But for now, I'd just like to uh, tell you guys about the economic collapse that's coming. I've been trying to get a lot of people to listen, but like I said, they cannot comprehend what the things I say because the capacity of their mind cannot understand it. So the only thing I can advise to a few of you guys is just do some preparations, do a little bit of research on the economic collapse, because 2017, I would say by the mid of 2017, it's going to be hype. It's going to starting to get into deflations, hyperinflation, and prices of goods is going to get real high. So the value of the dollar, the fiat currency, is going to go real down. There's many other countries that's already it's already happening. If you can look, Venezuela is one of them, Chile, and also there's another one. India has just recently it just recently happened in India. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up so that way you can survive what's coming, because what's coming, a lot of people are going to die. I'm not saying it because I'm just saying it because it's the truth, because the truth has to come out. And I would blame myself, because if I keep all this information, I really don't care if people call me crazy or any other names. I just want the information out there, because sooner or later they'll start to see what I was saying just come out to be true. So stack a lot of goods of canned food, water, bags of rice, whatever you can get, name on, like toilet papers and medicine. That's gonna be one of the number one things. And also, if you can, most of you who have like a savings, because whenever the collapse happened, uh, the stock market is going to crash all the way down, and everyone that invested in the stock market is going to lose everything. They're going to lose their pensions, their savings, whatever they had in the bank. It's going to be gone. So the best way you can preserve your wealth is to take out all the money you can from the bank and just turn it into hard assets. Like you can buy land. Most what I recommend is just turn it into gold and silver, because a lot of people are going to lose jobs. A lot of people are going to lose homes, and it's going to be a large numbers out there that's going to be homeless. the rich people that's out there right now, they're going to be the one that's looking out, trying to find their next meal each and every day. They don't know where it's going to come from. There's going to be long lines in the supermarket because everybody's going to try to get their hands something to eat. But prices is going to be so crazy, is people won't be able to afford pretty much the thing they need to survive. So most people are gonna come out to bartering, and that's why I say save a lot of food, so that way you don't get caught up in all this. And also I wanted to tell you guys something else, but I guess it slipped my mind. But like I said, just stock up on food and water. And I recommend you guys buy a tent, buy a traveling bag. I have a filter. You can get them online for like $30. They call live straw waters. You can drink out of any pond, any lake. It doesn't matter how dirty or filthy or dirty the water is. You can drink out of it. It'll filter the water out. Just buy a few of those. I've already collected a few. So that way you guys get prepared, because what's coming, you can't escape what's coming, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen globally. It's going to happen in every country. So you can't escape it just by saying you're going to another country, because it's already happening in other countries. It's just at the shore of the U.S. So, and all of this is because most of it is because of your government. Your government is corrupt. That's what I wanted. The main thing I wanted to get out to you guys. Your government is really corrupt. That's why you guys are asleep. Your government is doing things you guys couldn't even comprehend. The government, I wouldn't call it my government. That's why I'm calling it your government, because you guys still conform to them and you guys follow the rules and stuff like that. But your government is always 50 years ahead in technology. Back in 1940s, they already had time travel technologies. So they had already went into the future, because everything is happening at the same time. There's no such thing as past. I mean, there's no such thing as past, present, or future. Time is an illusion. Everything let's say if you think of 1940s, it exists right next to any other year. Maybe maybe it can be 2024, 2030, or 1900. They exist right next to each other, but they are in a different dimensions. So what your government were able to do, with the help of Tesla, if I can't butcher his name enough, Tesla, they with the help of his technology, they were able to penetrate dimensions, which is why many of you guys are noticing the Mandela effects. Basically, what that is, it's the government they invented a collider that's able to penetrate dimensions and bring other dimensions into another, so they can fulfill their own agenda. Because there's millions of dimensions right next to each other, but there's only subtle differences between each. So that's why you've been noticing the Mandela effect. So the government has the only reason they have such high technology is because they're working with the Dracos and the Greys. Those are alien beings that give them technology. They are really high advanced technologies. So the reason many of people are not going to comprehend what I'm saying is because the government has already programmed you guys. They can program a brain They can deprogram it. Your brain is just like you yourself is not your brain. The self does not exist in the brain. The brain is just a huge muscle and oil, which is basically a antenna that picks up thoughts and wavelengths. So they are able to program the mind. They can take a person's mind and just format it, and then they'll be like a kid again. They can be a 40-year-old guy walking around, and he has nothing, no memories or nothing. He's just a child again. They are able to do that. So that's why through television and the food you eat, they are able to program your minds and brainwash you guys. So when you hear truth, you reject it instantly because that's not what you've been grown up to believe. Because they've told you what you believe, you never question it or even have the slightest idea to even do a little bit of research on it. So, like I said, I'll be doing another video of how to become an Awaken, deprogram. Most of it includes your diet and what not to eat, because most of the processed food you eat, there's so many things in it that cause you to stay asleep. Most of it is metal, like mercury, and most of the food you guys are eating are magnetic foods, magnetism. So perfect example. If you just take just a regular bowl of cereal and get like a regular magnet, and then just put the magnet over the cereal, you see the cereal actually attaches to to the magnet. So like I said, the government is not in your best interest. It is there. The name itself says to govern, which is to control, Latin word to control. So even if they tell you guys the truth in your face, even if you get hit by with the truth like a ton of bricks, you will reject it instantly because it's what you've been programmed. You can't help it but to reject it unless you deprogram yourself. And I also wanted to talk to you about why good and bad has to exist at once, because it's the yin and the yang duality. It has to exist because the universe cannot exist without the yin and the yang, which is the bad and the good. Because how can you experience love if you have never experienced hate? So all of it is just in the same. Just like example, light is just an absence of darkness. So if you have light, there's no darkness. So it's all how you choose to live your life and who you want to be in that determines your reality. And your thoughts yourself, you create your own reality based on your thoughts. That's why a lot of people are trapped in their lives, because of the thoughts they put out. What you put out, you get back. That's why I don't feel that's why I really don't feel I mean that's why whenever I encounter a racist person or a bigot, they've already created a hell, if you want to call it that, a hell reality for themselves that they're living in. So it's already hard. They already put themselves in a box that's so hard to get out. So what's the point of even, going into a conversation with them? Because they're only gonna put out hate, bigot, racism, and I just usually just walk away or just don't say anything. And I think I'll leave the video at that. And if you guys have any question, my email is my first and last name 89 @gmail.com. I can answer a few questions. And the whole reason I'm doing this video again is not because of fear, because I have no fear. It's because the whole reason I was trying not to do this video is not because of fear. It's because most of you guys won't understand it unless you reprogram yourself, because I have so much to say, because I cannot sit here in one sitting and explain to you guys and tell you guys what I found over a whole year worth of research. It's just not gonna do. So that's why I chose to do the multi-series of videos, so I can get it out bit by bit. And I have so much to tell you guys. But let's just slowly cross the bridge, because I cannot tell you anything. I have to first start with the physical before I get into anything multi-dimensional, because you guys it will just go over your head. So let's all plan for the economic collapse, because everybody's sleepwalking right now. They don't know what's going on in the world. They don't even want to do the research. They just click on the television and watch CNN and the news and all that. It's just pure garbage. All that is controlled by the same people that's corrupting the system. It's all one thing. So you're not gonna get any real news by just watching CNN or ABC or NBC or any of that. You have to do your own research. And also, one of the most important things I recommend is meditate every day when you can, and empty the mind. Because when you empty the mind, you see the world in a whole new light, and you get a greater deal of intuition. So I wanted to stop the video at that. So until my second video, I will be talking about how to deprogramming your mind and the type of food to eat and not to eat, because what you guys are eating, the fast food, the meat, it's not going to cut it, because most of that stuff is magnetic foods that keep your vibration low, that keeps your brain from functioning at the level where you can start to accept the truth. And there's some friends I've actually helped out too, because some of them were able to do a vegetarian diet. So until next time, guys, see you later.